NASCAR might have just stumbled onto a fix with their Garage 56 entrance for short tracks and road courses. Let's talk about it. Coming up next. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good today. All right, NASCAR might have just found a fix for the short track and road course package by testing the Garage 56 entrance that will, of course, race in the Le Mans race. Let's take a look at this article from John Newby at The Heavy. NASCAR Operating Officer Steve O'Donnell provided some insight during an appearance on Corey LaJoie's Stacking Pennies podcast. He explained that they found some things during testing that NASCAR can try for a fairly inexpensive way. O'Donnell added that NASCAR would most likely go test some potential changes at Richmond Raceway. Okay, so first things first, if you want to hear the full interview from that is the November 16th episode of Stacking Pennies for Corey LaJoie. But the two things I want to take from that quote are, first off, it's inexpensive. That is the absolute goal of this car. So if they have found something that's possibly an inexpensive fix for this car, for the short tracks, and for the road courses going forward, I think that is a good thing. The second thing is they're going to test it at Richmond. Richmond is a track that used to put on really good races. If you remember, Kevin Harvick and Ricky Rudd had some really good battles back there back in the day, but it's been a long time since they've had good racing on the track. Now, Richmond is a great facility to watch a race at. Just unfortunately, the racing on the track under recent generations of the car, especially this car last year, did not produce good racing. So I do like the fact that they are going to go test these fixes at Richmond. He goes on to say, I think there's going to be some good things, at least from what we've seen already in the wind tunnel and a lot of sim data. It looks really good in terms of getting rid of some of the challenges we've seen, particularly on the short tracks. So there you go. He is looking at sim data, which, whatever, the sim data can go either way because, you know, for the safety thing, they like the numbers they were seeing with the sim data, but they also are actually taking it to a wind tunnel. They're taking the physical car there to a wind tunnel to look at some of the things as far as that goes. I do like the fact that they're looking at the aero. I think that is a big part of the problem, especially the aero going underneath of the car, especially at short tracks and road courses. And the third thing, of course, that I like that they're doing is they've already tested at VIR, and they've seen sort of what this can do at VIR on the actual car, and they are going to take it to Richmond to test the aero on the actual car at Richmond, and of course they've already got the test at VIR, so I like those two things. Let's continue with the article. So if you've got a good car and you're out there and you're able to pass guys, you should be able to do that, O'Donnell added during the podcast. So we've looked at what's happening in short tracks. You look at the brakes on the road courses, they're so good. So this car is different for sure, but it presents some challenges on both short tracks and road courses. So we're looking at a lot of things around the aero, certainly looking at some things around the tires, but you know, that's going to be our big focus in the off season is both road courses and short tracks for sure. So he mentions the aero and the tires are going to be a big focus. And of course, he mentions that the short tracks and the road courses, the two things that we're complaining about the most of the season, are the things they're going to focus on the off season. So I think he's spot on. I think he's where he's going with this is very good, and hopefully they get them fixed. But the other thing I wanted to talk about in that quote, the big thing is he's got the right focus. He's got the right focus because he says if you've got a fast car and you're able to pass people, that should be the focus. You should be able to pass people if you have a faster car. And I think he is dead on the money. They've got the right focus. So if that is what they're focusing on, that you've got a faster car and you shouldn't get behind somebody and immediately stall out. So I think they're focusing on the right things. The aero and being able to pass, and the aero not being a major deterrent to you being able to pass. So hopefully whatever they found and they test, they will find that it works, and that is a way to get better going forward. But I thought it was very interesting that because the Garage 56 doesn't have to abide by the stringent rules that NASCAR has put on the regular next-gen cars, they might have accidentally tripped up and found something to help the short tracks and the road courses going forward. So I thought that was cool. Who knew the Garage 56 entrance would be this interesting? So it's getting more interesting as it goes. Can't wait to see that thing at Le Mans, and hopefully we will get a fix for the short tracks and road courses. All right, that's all I got for you on this one. If you made it this far, feel free to subscribe down below. I appreciate all your subscriptions, and if you're already subscribed, you know I appreciate you as well. If you got a comment or question, leave it down in the comment section. I'll try to get to as many of them as I can. And other than that, thanks for your time. Peace.